So what I'm up to here is I have to join some framing for my cabin structure. So there'll be some solid wood framing that I want to join. And there's several ways of doing it. You could do a lap joint. You know, I can do that fairly easy, but I don't care to work with, you'd have to come all the way through. You could do a tenon joint. You could do dowels. You can do a number of things. I have a biscuit machine. You could use biscuits. Or you could use a Craig tool, because on the side that's going to be covered over with plywood. You'd never see the screws, but that requires screws and left in the wood. Instead, what I've done is I've created sort of a tenon arrangement using scrap pieces of my marine ply. And this is just a sample I set up. So I punched through, went roughly half. As long as you keep track of your face, as long as you're close, you're going to be flush if you keep the face to face when you do all the cuts for the stiles and rails. And I've put, I don't know if you can see it, but I put a few guidelines, and that tells me where to stop to make a 2-inch slot. And then, so you cut, it happens that they're 7/8 thick. I could go a little deeper if I wanted, but 7/8 is lots. And then I cut them square, and then I just take the edges off on the sander, and you can see that's pretty strong in there. And what I didn't want the biscuits, they tend to leave voids out on the end, so I didn't really care for that. But there you go. This ends up fitting fairly nice. When that's all glued up, ooh, I got it backwards. When that's all glued up, come on, get in there, one-handed. Oh, there we go. So, and because it's not light, so you can see when that's glued up, that's going to make a very strong joint. And it's quick and easy, and you're using scraps instead of, buying screws or buying biscuits. And then the biscuits, like I say, they have a little void. This is in the cabin side, so I don't imagine it ever getting wet to the point of worrying about any wood decay or anything. But nonetheless, why not make it exact? Oh, I was a little bit big before, and so I had a bit of a gap here, and I wanted it snug, so I just sanded the edge a bit. And when I do my future cut, you can see these are the scrap pieces of ply that I cut off the angled cross bracing. And so I can get quite a few out of that. And so that's going to make a very nice joint when it's all said and done. So I thought you might want to see that. And basically, it's utilizing the materials that we have at hand, and I think the joint will be actually stronger. Okay? So thanks for watching, all. Yeah, maybe I should clean up once in a while, eh? And I forgot to put a name on her. So I quick threw that on there with marker. So there you have it. Pretty cool. Okay, that's how this joint finally turned out. Now we're going to deconstruct it. Now keep in mind, the panel will actually be backed up with plywood as well. So it'll be glued to plywood. So it's got to be pretty strong. Let's see. No. Okay, now the break is key. Look where it broke. Look at that. That's your joint. So that's pretty darn strong. So there might have been a bit of a split in the wood, but that's a short chunk, so I don't expect, and it's cedar. So that's pretty darn good. I might go a little deeper though, and then, but I think that's deep enough and will work. I may just increase the depth slightly, and then I'd have even a little bit more bite. But even the bottom of the little spline I made has cedar attached to it. So at least the joint is stronger than the wood itself. That's the key to remember, okay? So that worked out well.